There hasn't been a new asset class since the bond market was created, in 1693. Well, now there's a new asset class, and it is the digital asset space. The question is, are you participating? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Wow, really, really exciting news. I would think that this speaks to a couple of things that I'm going to share today, really speaks to the overall adoption of the digital asset space, the overall just kind of an acknowledgement that this space is here to stay. Really excited about it. So guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in 0 to around 10 minutes. All right, guys, let's do it. So shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf, big time contributor to the digital asset space and especially to the XRP community. So this is what he tweeted out. U.S. Congressman, FinTech Task Force Chair, Representative Stephen Lynch, wants to support cryptocurrency pilot programs and regulatory sandbox at the United States OCC. Lynch wants a roundtable in the near future to discuss how to move forward on pilots to experiment with crypto. Again, this guy is the chair of the FinTech Task Force. Really excited about that. And the fact that he brings in the OCC, looking to see if the OCC will kind of head and run the sandboxes. The sandbox is phenomenal news because we all know Mr. Brian Brooks is a big fan of the digital asset space, a big fan of cryptos without question. And so this will be really exciting. Let's go over the article from Forbes. Again, shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf for sharing this with the community. So Congressman Stephen Lynch, this is from Forbes, by the way. Congressman Stephen Lynch wants to support Sandbox-Like crypto pilots at the OCC. Man, I'm just excited about that. That's really good news. The chair of the FinTech Task Force, Congressman Stephen Lynch, Democrat out of, I think it's Maine. I always get Maine and Massachusetts confused, who just introduced a bill for beer code supplies to be tracked on a blockchain. What? I didn't know about that. So he just introduced a bill for beer code supplies to be tracked on a blockchain. Interesting. So Mr. Lynch stated he thinks it is great that the former chief legal counsel of Coinbase, Brian Brooks, is now the acting comptroller of the currency of the OCC. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the team, Mr. Lynch, because we think the same thing as well. We're excited about having Mr. Brooks as the acting comptroller of the currency of the OCC. When asked during a telephone interview how acting comptroller Brooks would balance the oversight of large federal banks with crypto alternatives, Lynch said, "It's just great. There are too many bankers and United States agency leaders that did not grow up with this stuff and are afraid of change, which is to our detriment." Volumes. Guys, that speaks volumes, right? Lynch had already asked his staff to reach out to Brooks's team at the OCC to see what infrastructure would support the acting comptroller. Maybe we can help these financial markets to give this stuff a try. Said Lynch. Yeah, maybe. How do we start pilot programs in a sandbox-like environment? Quote again from Mr. Lynch, that we then scale up to a full sandbox, pondered Lynch. And looking at new payments charters and crypto and blockchain regulation, Chairman Lynch sees Brooks as someone who gets the need for market innovation and competitiveness in our financial markets with the rest of the world. Oh yeah. Last week, Brooks launched an advanced notice of public rulemaking for crypto and blockchain matters. Interesting. An advanced notice of public rulemaking for crypto and blockchain matters to receive public input on possible crypto regulations. It's due August 2nd. August the 2nd. How about that? Did not know that. Mr. Brooks is doing things, making things move, right? In the phone interview, Lynch also commented on a hearing today called Inclusive Banking During a Pandemic. Using Fed accounts and digital tools to improve delivery of stimulus payments, Chairman Lynch said, the unbanked is a segment of society where the gaps became evident with the rebate checks sent out. As the direct deposits were sent out in a way that those mostly closely tied to the banking system received their bill code payments first, the chairman noted during the hearing that it had been 76 days since the CARES Act had been passed, and there were still individuals who had not received their economic stimulus checks. It was good to run the traps with the experts on a couple of proposals, said Lynch, regarding the idea of Fed accounts that would deliver stimulus payments in real time from the Federal Reserve to individual bank accounts. Lynch was more skeptical. The chairman noted how the FedNow program at the Fed, looking to establish real-time payments between the Federal Reserve and the commercial banks, had taken 3 years to write the rule and that it was not expected to be completed for another 8 years. Based on the experience of the congressman, it struck him as unlikely that the Fed could do with individuals what it had still not done with its own banks it deals with on a daily basis already. According to Lynch, he appreciated the enthusiasm of two of the witnesses, both, and I read this, I covered this last night as well, guys, both Mirza Baradaran, professor of law at the University of California, Irvine School of Law, and, man, I covered both of these. And Morgan Riggs, professor of law, that's at Vanderbilt University Law School. Nice. So Mr. Lynch agrees with me that was important to cover. All right, he said he was impressed. He was enthusiastic. He was really appreciated the enthusiasm of the two witnesses, Mrs. Barandaran and Mr. Ricks, who is a law professor at the University of California, Irvine. I covered that last night, my last video, as a matter of fact. In that, according to both, they believe that if the U.S. prioritized the effort, Fed accounts could be established rapidly. Ricks had conceived of the idea of Fed accounts for all accounts, arguing in the hearing that the Fed only provided accounts to an exclusive group and that the idea would be to broaden their mission to include all Americans as banking customers. Baradaran noted that she believed that it is part of the Fed's mission to provide equitable access and an adequate level of services nationwide. According to Lynch, the overall mission of the Fed and its ability to start providing banking services to the public, they are not built for this, and Congress has not asked them to undertake this. Lynch believes there is a wider policy debate that must be held, and the request should be balanced against what Congress has already tasked the Fed with before providing new and different tasks to carry out. The digital dollar discussion. Meanwhile, the ranking members of the task force, Congressman Tom Emmer, noted the discussion of providing benefits in the hearing needed to coexist with the idea of a digital dollar, which Emmer defined as a U.S. central bank digital currency. Such a digital dollar should emulate the physical form of the United States dollar by being tokenized as a bearer instrument, as opposed to an account-based program, such as Fed accounts. The most important part of this, though, really, guys, is the fact that they're having these discussions. It's they're having hearings, more and more hearings about, listen, make no mistake about China moving forward with their DCEP, which is essentially a central bank digital currency, is massive. All the countries and nations are just, moving forward at a rapid pace because they realize what, in fact, that China is doing can be massive can be very, very disruptive for our economies and other economies other than China. So witness J. Chris Giancarlo, senior counsel at Wilkie Farr and Gallagher, and former chairman of the United States Commodity Futures Trading Commission, echoed the sentiments of Emmer in explaining his view of a digital dollar as something that captures the need for United States currency to remain the global reserve standard. However, Ricks, the law professor at Vanderbilt, noted the digital dollar as one that is already in existence. And the key is simply making these digital dollars that are currently only used between the Fed on an exclusionary basis with commercial banks open to the public. There you go, exposing the truth. Giancarlo, in a joint interview with fellow co-leader of the digital dollar, David Treat of Accenture, noted, part of the problem is the word digital. We coined the phrase digital dollar back in January. We thought it would catch people's attention and had a nice ring to it. Now it has confused things. It's not confusing for us. It's confusing for them, the old heads. Giancarlo has considered a digital dollar mission critical for the world, and in the hearing compared the importance of it to both the space race and the development of the internet. According to Giancarlo, he noted the Fed accounts introduced by Professor Ricks in the hearing was aimed specifically at the financial inclusion issue. The Digital Dollar Project recently published its first white paper that was included by Giancarlo as part of the record of the hearing. The Digital Dollar White Paper from former CFTC Chairman Giancarlo has many interesting proposals, including the idea of enabling a tokenized digital dollar that, although distributed via commercial banks, would allow the public to hold it in their own digital wallets, very similar to paper banknotes today. Stated Henry, Arzlanian, the PwC global crypto leader, is that right? And a leading influencer on central bank digital currencies around the world. Treat, senior managing director and blockchain lead at Accenture, who is supporting Giancarlo's digital dollar project on a pro bono basis, was asked if the Federal Reserve could be converted into retail banks in such a short time to be used for near-term action to help deliver bill code stimulus payments. This is one of the things we do. A massive part of our business is the direct service business. With close to 180,000 full-time employees in the operations division of Accenture, we are geared for that kind of service. How about that? Treat did caution in this context, all of the suggestions that are being made will require effort to implement, nothing to be turned on in days and weeks. Giancarlo, who, as the former CFTC chair that pushed for moving the agency from an analog to a digital world of trading, agreed with the sentiments of Chairman Lynch, who pointed out that Brian Brooks showing leadership in this area is terrific. Justice Giancarlo became known as Crypto Dad based on the role he played in supporting crypto while at the CFTC. There are rumblings that describing Brooks as the new crypto uncle based on his bullish views toward crypto and blockchains at the OCC. I commend Devron Brown, Senior Counsel of the Task Force on Financial Technology, for convening this hearing to continue this important conversation about how to digitize the dollar to more effectively deliver direct benefit payments to the unbanked and underbanked, not only during times of crisis, but every day. New technologies like blockchain offer solutions to address the many barriers Black, brown, and rural communities face and can help to ensure greater equity in our financial system. The more options available to all Americans, the more inclusive money becomes, said Cleve Messidor, founder of the National Policy Network of Women of Color in Blockchain. One of the cryptocurrency exchanges, Binance.us, which could my favorite, one of my favorites, which could possibly participate in one of these pilot programs described by Lynch, nice, has been outspoken on how stable coins could be used to deliver stimulus benefits on cryptocurrency exchanges at a very low cost. Catherine Coley, former Ripple employee and now CEO of Binance US, had to say, access to money changes lives. Crypto is pushing others in government and banking to reconsider existing systems. Without crypto pushing the envelope on decentralization, these conversations were never on the agenda. Lynch mentioned the idea of a roundtable in the near future where a discussion could be held on how to move forward on pilots for the existing financial markets to experiment with crypto. Well, that's interesting, and that's great news, right? That is really, really good news, right? That she could be part of this roundtable. In fact, maybe even head the thing or co-chair it, if you will, with Brian Brooks. So that's exciting. Shout out to Binance US, guys. Definitely link in the description for all of my videos on Binance US because Coinbase blows. Coinbase blows. All right, guys, listen. That was a long read, but I wanted to get every single word out to you guys. This is exciting, absolutely exciting news for the digital asset space. Okay, we talking about the chair of the FinTech Task Force wanting to move forward with Sandbox initiatives for digital assets in the banking system, and really looking forward to having Brian Brooks head this initiative. We all know that Brian Brooks is a big fan of the digital asset space. So again, guys, this is massive news. Thank you, Jason Brett, contributing author at Forbes. All right, guys, so listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog, in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.